My name's Brittany Taborn. I grew up in Jackson County, Ohio, very small area. When you hear the term, it takes a village to raise a child, that was basically what my life was like. I don't remember a lot of events growing up for some reason. I do remember a lot of feelings I had growing up. I remember feeling out of place all the time, really self-conscious of myself, really just insecure all the time. My dad really worked hard to give me every opportunity he could. I'm his only child, so he, made sure I went to the best school. I was in a private Catholic school growing up. My mom worked really hard to hide the parts of my childhood from my dad where I would get in trouble, where I would, do things I shouldn't be doing. By the time I was 13, I was a really heavy drinker. I started getting in trouble when I was about 13 years old. I got my first underage consumption. From that age on, I basically just drank. I got arrested on senior trip. Again, my mom didn't want my dad to find out about that. And so my mom bailed me out and got me home. And shortly after that, I found out I was pregnant. I didn't have any clue what was ahead of me. I had this image in my head, like, I'm going to be the best mom. I'm going to, and I was very proud of my boys. I ended up having 2 more sons. So I was a young mom, but my boys were definitely, my proudest accomplishment. By the time I had my 3rd son, I had already discovered opiates. Every boundary that I set, I'll never do that. I through my years in treatment, I remember in and out looking at different people and just thinking, girls coming in with track marks, girls coming in with, I haven't saw my kids in so long, and I'm like, that'll never be me. I'll never do that, But the truth is, there was nothing that was stronger than my love for, heroin, my addiction. That came before anything. The only way I can describe the feelings that I had during that time are just desperate. I thought I was going to die like that. The charges that I got brought me to the judge. He told me that he was sending me to Justin's place, to Florida. When I got off the plane, the girls came to pick me up from the program. And I remember whenever I saw them and I started talking to them and I found out they were in the program, I was just thinking to myself, there's no way these girls are drug addicts. There's no way. Getting to know them, I thought, wow, they're like me. And if I stay here, then maybe I'll be like them. That gave me hope. I remember just thinking to myself, okay, I want to do this. I want to be clean. I want to be sober, and I want what they have. It didn't matter what they told me to do, what the girls told me to do, what leadership told me to do. I had it in my head, I'm going to do it. If that's what they want me to do, and it's going to help me stay clean, I'm going to do it. I tried to stay as busy as I could. I would weed eat. I would, I worked in the kitchen as kitchen lead. I did maintenance. Finally, I got on a recovery team, and, I started out as an RA, and I went up to finally an intern. And one of the best things about that was that I got to see the girls come in and transform, come in like there's no hope, just like I did. And just, eventually, a couple months would go by and I would just see them and see the change in them, and that's what kept me going. I really look back on it, and I think the turning point for me was I started, getting in the Bible. I remember one day just, looking at something, and the verse Matthew 9:13 came out, and it was that Jesus calls not those who know they are righteous, but those who know they are sinners. And that was that's me. Jesus wants to pick out the worst, the biggest mess, and that's the one he wants to work on. So that humbled me to think, that was me. He did that for me. So when the girls would come in and they would, they thought the same thing I thought. Nobody loves me, Jesus doesn't love me. I don't know what this is you're talking about. I took it on as my responsibility to, tell them, yes, you are loved. I was always the one running around the house telling people to let their light shine, and I still tell people that everywhere I go, let your light shine, because When you start believing that you're somebody, and you're somebody, and more importantly, you're somebody in Christ, the light from within you just shines. I set out every day to show love to people, to show the love that I've been given. And I wake up every day, and I always try to remember, where I could be. I have a lot to be thankful for today. My kids know that I love them. They know that it's by the grace of God that I'm where I'm at today. I definitely owe my life to Justin's place. I owe my life to God. The grace of God, saved me, and I definitely feel like I don't deserve it. So I try to do, everything I can to glorify God for where I'm at today. And I'm very thankful.